But yeah, man, I think
No, definitely.
we can dive properly into the interview.
Yeah.
Ask you a couple questions, but I
Yeah,
guess
of
there's
course.
a little bit of watching. If you can't tell, I'm very happy because I predicted this a year ago when we first spoke. You'll be making a testimonial video. Things are going to go very well. But obviously you were kind of hesitant to join, and we can kind of explore all those things.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you tell the people, man, like where you're at right now, kind of revenue, what the business looks like, who you serve, your niche, what your experience is like, what you do in the day to day, and just kind of yeah, give people an image of what it looks like now, the finished product of a year of working with us.
Yeah. So I joined EasyGrow around a year ago now. So I joined when I was doing full-time corporate. And I joined Charlie's program kind of out of out of the need because I wanted to make a lot more money on my own terms, do the whole online thing, and it kind of opened my eyes out to what's possible out there. And I got first into like Facebook ads, and then I changed it to Google ads, and then I niche hopped quite a bit. And actually looking back at at Charlie's content, it actually made so much sense why niche hopping is such a kind of a bad thing because you kind of reset. If I had just focused on one thing for a long period of time, I would have been a lot further, which is kind of
Hmm.
what I'm doing now. But who I serve the home improvement space. I run meta ads.
Hmm.
But I think right now we're doing around 14, 15,000 AUD. So
Hmm.
USD equivalent maybe is around nine,
Okay.
maybe somewhere around that range.
Hmm.
So not there yet, but I'll definitely get there very, very soon. So I've been able to kind of as well, like recently quit my job 2 months ago. Yeah. So going all into it. So now what I'm doing is, doing this properly, setting up, right now I'm setting up my paid ads funnels, scaling that. And I've kind of stopped doing cold calls, which was what I was doing before, like
Hmm.
after work. But now I'm not doing that at all. Now I'm just focusing purely on paid ads to help me scale.
Mm. And how does it feel at this point, man? Like getting to that point
Um,
was pretty much everything you ever wanted as a first milestone, right?
Yeah, first master dude. When I remember taking the call with you, Vince. I think what I said was I just want to make like one or two, extra 1, 2 grand a month extra. But after going into the space, you're like, yeah, you can actually make a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's the limiting belief stuff and like the self-transcendence modules is pretty incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think yeah, right now I think they're definitely very happy with where I am. I definitely see myself in this space for a long time, but
Mm.
it's definitely not easy. Definitely the agency space is not easy. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Was that your actual goal to get to 2K? I couldn't remember that, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember this very specifically. I just wanted like because I worked a corporate job, I wasn't happy with the money I was making. I just want to make an extra couple of grand on the side. Because you hear that all the time, like making passive income and stuff like that. But once you realize, people are paying a couple of grand for these services, you realize, wait, I can actually make a pretty good living out of it.
mhm.
So once that opened my eyes, now I'm just like, yeah, this can take me pretty
I,
far.
I think that's a quite common experience, man. Like a lot of people want to go into to make extra money, and they're still in love with that idea of like a passive income. They don't fully understand
Yeah.
it doesn't really exist.
Yeah,
And then they
it
go in and they're
doesn't.
like, oh shit, my active income, I'm making so much more already than I am with my job, and it can grow tenfold, 20-fold from this point
Exactly.
right here. I think it sounds like it's similar in your experience. It's almost like maturing into like, oh shit, active income. That's the way to go, right? It's about having systems, processes,
100%.
everything like that. But with the business now, man, walk me through, how you're getting appointments, what it's like closing deals and delivery, just to get a kind of a better idea here.
Yeah, right. I mean, before when I first started, I was doing cold calls. Again, self-transcendence, the modules inside the course definitely helped in terms of the mindset. Because going to mindset, like doing the cold calls is the hardest, I'd say. Like it sucks. But that kind of got me off the ground, got me the experience that I needed, the confidence. And right now, I'm still figuring out trying to crack the paid ads game at the moment. So figuring that out. Once I figure that out, it's just a matter of again ramping that up and then closing deals and sales as well. That
Mhm.
was massive from the module.
Mhm.
Learned heaps of stuff that wouldn't have otherwise if I didn't
Mm.
join the course.
Interesting, man. And with the delivery, I seem to remember the messages you were talking about, like kind of struggling with the Google Ads side of things and that not
Oh
working.
yeah.
So then you pivoted to Meta. Was that what happened?
Yeah, pivoted meta. Realized, well, I still don't know. Oh, I tried really hard for Google for a couple of months. Like did a lot of research, paid like one or two Google Ads private coaching.
Mhm.
And figured that it was kind of well, not hard to get an ROI for Google Ads for like plumbers, electricians, and cleaners. But I realized that maybe the vehicle I was in wasn't as good. So I was thinking, I mean, a lot of people do this already, but doing obviously meta ads for like, your roofers, your landscapers, your renovators, one where the average project size around, 15 to 20, 30 grand is
Mhm.
massive. So
Mhm.
it really doesn't take that much from their end to make their money's back working with yourself. So
Mhm.
that was kind of why I pivoted. So I pivoted in like kind of last 2, 3 months to meta ads. So yeah.
Well, bro, like you were doing a lot, right? Like you were working full time that whole time apart from the last 2 months. So you were doing a job. Was that like a 9 to 5, like kind of hours?
It was a pretty chill job. I honestly worked maybe like 9 till 2, 3 p.m. But I was still expending a lot of energy every single day and like thinking about that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was like 9 to 3, 9 to 2, I would say. I wouldn't say it's fully 9 to 5 locked out. I was still doing it at work and stuff. But yeah, I was working.
What would you say to somebody, man, if they're like they're in the job, maybe they're working 6 hours a day, like you mentioned, maybe they're working 8 hours a day, and like they feel like they don't have the time to do something like this. What kind of advice would you give them? Would you tell them, hey, just quit your job, or would you tell them to do what you kind of did? Obviously,
Bro,
it
I
will
reckon
vary so much. T's and C's apply
yeah,
for different people.
yeah, of course. It will vary, but I think just matters what you do when you go home and stuff. Man, like let's say you work 9 to 5, like you can easily make time when you go home and stuff to go spend it on whatever that you want to spend it on. Don't go home, watch Netflix, watch porn, all that stuff. Don't do that. Go home, I reckon, focus on the business, wake up. They're 24 hours in a day. You work 8 hours, 9 hours max. You got a lot of time after that as well to work in the business. And when you do that every single day, it'll compound.
What would you say if I was like, oh, Aaron, I don't want to join the program. Maybe I'll save up for my job, then I'll quit my job to do it full time, to do it 100%. Do you wish you did it if you look back? Or did it make the most sense in kind of retrospect, just juggling both things at once and having that kind of continuity essentially as you're doing those two things? You built an exit plan with your agency, right? Like you didn't
Yeah.
and go into it.
Yeah. I didn't go complete cold turkey because I still had like limiting beliefs around what I could achieve.
Mm,
But if you yeah, I think once you start getting like a couple of clients and you start getting traction, you just I think quit ASAP.
hmm
That's my perspective. Or just invest in the program anyway while you're at the job. Like you have a job, you have income coming in. If there's any time to take a risk, it's while you're working the job and getting income. So you have the safety in that as well. So that's my perspective.
And what do you think, if we speculate, man, would have happened if you didn't join the program? Like,
And
genuinely, what do you think would have happened?
oh, don't know, man. I think I'll be still grinding pretty hard at the 9 to 5, trying to climb the corporate ladder.
Hmm
Probably hating the politics and the lack of control you just generally have working for someone else, being someone else's, cog in the machine. So honestly, very happy with the decision I've made.
hmm
And there's no way that I'll be able to fail unless I gave up, which I won't be because I have no choice. I have to keep going with this. So
And what if you had the same mentality where you're like, no, there's no way I'm gonna fail, as long as I don't give up without the kind of program. How do you think that would have played out, man? Do you think you'd still
if I
be
didn't,
doing it? Because like you had a lot of
um,
self-limiting beliefs, right? Like we were talking
yeah,
about
one hundred
the
percent,
1 to 2K a month goal. Like you were very kind of like boxed
yeah,
off almost in a way, right? You were in
yeah.
a jam jar in a sense.
Well, I think definitely joining the program, you get a lot of exposure to other people who are making a lot of money online, doing this online stuff. It's actually nuts because before I was like doing corporate 9 to 5. This is my first time ever seeing this online stuff. Like I had a very limiting belief that this was all a scam and like anything that's online related, making money, crypto, SMMA, dude, it's all like fugazi, it's not real. But once you join, it's like, wow, like there are people making more money who are younger than people who are working a 9 to 5, even if they're working a very lucrative 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Like being your own business person, the way the internet is right now, AI is like incredible. We have like an incredible opportunity in front of us, I think, more so than what the 9 to 5 has to offer us. That's my
I remember
perspective.
that. It wasn't an easy close. It wasn't
Oh,
easy kind of close at
it
all.
wasn't. I
No.
was so skeptical. I was like, there is no way. But like, what really got me, Vince, was definitely the social proof that EasyGrow had. And
Mm,
like, I remember you just showing me the social proof. Um, Absolutely insane. Like
yeah.
the amount of like testimonials you guys had. I was like, even if you guys could fake it, like this is very difficult to fake. The amount of testimonials you guys had. So
Mhm.
I was
And
like,
it's
just
it's
took the leap
it's
of
it's
faith.
just it's quite poetic. It's just come full circle, right? Now you're building up to that like kind of canon of client interviews up to that point, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice thing, man. Let's go way back though, way back. Like when you were working the 9 to 5, was it in Salesforce sales?
Yes.
What?
So
You're
it
selling
was in
Salesforce,
Salesforce.
the software, right?
At
Yeah.
Salesforce sales, exactly. Yes, it's selling their
Okay, cool.
CRM. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. How long were you
yeah.
doing that for?
Um oh, I only just started that job actually. So I started that job in March and I joined EasyGrow in August. So I was in that job for like 4 or 5 months.
Hmm.
So I'd come home after work and I'll be like, okay, what do I do now? Like, do I just like watch Netflix or like watch YouTube? I was like, and then that's when I started getting into websites. I was like, oh, I can start building people websites. And then came across you guys. I remember
Hmm.
I asked you, Vince, like, or like, what if I like, should I stick to websites or should I like move to something else? And then I think you said more or less you're gonna end up doing lead generation.
Yeah, I remember, man. And with the job you're there for like 4 months, was it the case, man, that
Mm.
you wanted to leave the job and you didn't like doing it, or when you joined, was it literally just about just making some more money on the kind of side as you did both things?
Well, I joined that job specifically because I left my previous job, which was in corporate finance, and I wanted more freedom. But when I joined Salesforce, I had a lot of time, but I didn't earn as much as I'd like to.
Hmm.
So I was like, I want a way to make more money, which is why I went down the website route.
Hmm.
But then I was like, I don't actually know how to get customers consistently through websites. So that's why I came across you guys and then
And
joined.
how long had that been since you were like trying to build the agency for? I can't remember, man. Before you
Um,
on the first call with me.
Oh, it was like 2 months. So it was like
Mhm.
when I started doing websites, like 2 months. I did websites for like 2 months. So like just like calling random businesses who didn't have websites on Instagram and asking them if they needed a website. That's really
Mhm.
it.
What was that like, man? I think a lot of
I was
people can
pretty,
relate.
yeah, oh, yeah, I think most people start. Yeah, that was pretty grim. But it was a good way to start because like I remember when I first, I've never done like my own business or anything like that. When I first called someone, I remember on Instagram, and then they were like, "Yeah, okay, I'm happy to do a call." I was like, "Oh my god, people there are people actually out there who need someone to build their website for them."
Mhm.
But for me to get the data, it was like scraping through Instagram, manually putting the numbers on Excel, and calling them, and
Had
there was no
you,
systems, which are
sorry to interrupt, man, but did you close any clients during those 2 months that
I
before
closed
you
one. Yeah, I closed one client,
one
like
client? Okay, for the
yeah, for
website,
1.6. Yeah, yeah.
1.6K. Did you feel rich at the time closing the 1.6K
Yeah,
deal as
but
well?
first time seeing my Stripe notification. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Okay, cool, man. Now I think I gotta make a confession to no, before I make a confession, what was it that kind of prompted you to book in the appointment to speak with me first? Like, what was that, man?
It was seeing one of Charlie's YouTube videos around. I remember very specifically. It was one where it was like a mastermind, I think, and he was talking about I think childhood trauma and kind of what drives us, and that I think is what
Yeah.
motivated me to book a call with you guys because I was like I resonate with that message a bit.
Okay.
Because the way he described it and in the online space, you don't really see a lot of people talking about it that openly. Well, from
Yep.
my perspective, from what I saw.
Yep.
So I think that's what motivated me to book a call with you guys.
Interesting, right? Like it resonated on the personal level, not in a kind of business
Mm.
sense with like
Oh
specific
no, dude.
tactics or
Yeah,
anything like that.
going to the program, I didn't even know what I was going to do, but I saw the outcome that I wanted to achieve, which was you had the people hitting like multi, like 50, 30, 60, 70, some crazy numbers per month.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to do that as well. What these guys are doing, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. But
Okay.
yeah,
It's time to make my confession, man. I didn't close Aaron in my first call, and I looked, you know, I whipped myself in the back like in Game of Thrones, and she's walking down the street with a shame kind of belt.
I'm
What?
surprised. No, no, yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
surprised you didn't ask for the close on the call. I mean, I think it was probably a good thing you didn't
I
ask. You
did, I
probably would.
did, didn't I?
You did? Oh,
I
I don't
hope
remember.
so.
I
Hope
don't think
so.
you did. You asked for the follow up call, like to from what I remember.
What might have been, man, because I remember looking at my notes and it's saying like he was very skeptical, very unsure of like the whole online space as a whole. So I haven't listened
Mm.
to the callback, but in a while at least. But maybe what I did was then send you a bunch of testimonials, let you go through that in your own time, just because you were so outside of the ecosystem, right? Like you mentioned, you wanted to be making 2K a month. You had no idea that people were doing 10K a month, 20K a month, 100K a month, right? You were skeptical of
Yeah.
online gurus, so that's maybe what kind of happened. What was
Mm.
contributing to that kind of skepticism though? Because that's something that everyone has for different reasons. So yeah,
Oh, well, I'm Asian as well. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. You're Asian. You're like
what does that
you get
mean?
yeah, well, like you'll get told like a lot of the online stuff is a scam. You're in a typical 9 to 5, and when you're around people who are in nine
Ah,
to
okay.
fives, they have similar belief systems as you as well. So it's like an echo chamber. But I wanted to
Is it really like the stereotype? Is that I want my son to become like a doctor,
oh
a professional? Like that's
oh
an
100%,
actual
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the especially in my background, my specific background. Go to
okay.
good school, get a good job. And when you're around people who are just like you just all think the same and very skeptical. But I wanted an escape pretty badly.
Mm.
So,
What do you think it was for you that made you kind of, I don't want to say rebel, but like just stand or swim against that current? Because most people would just kind of follow that path, right? What was your
well, I
motivation
could,
initially? I suppose what I'm asking, just to clarify.
well, my motivation, well, I wanted to make a lot more money than what I was making. Like, it wasn't, I was making good money. Like, on a normal salary, I was like $120,000 at the time, AUD, which at the time is actually pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was in investment banking as well, so it was kind of going backwards in terms of salary. So I kind of realized that I wanted to make like what I was currently earning was not enough to kind of support the lifestyle that I wanted to live, and it was also not on my terms. So I also don't want to get paid a lot to work for someone I didn't like and listen to someone I didn't like and respect. That was probably the biggest thing. Freedom is ultimately what I wanted to get.
Mm-hmm.
So both in monetary time, who you have to listen to, like that's all I wanted really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was there anything else that kind of made you skeptical, man? Or was it just your kind of belief system around everyone's kind of out to get their you online and it's all kind of too good to be true? Was there
Yeah.
anything else contributing to it?
No, just the way I was raised, anything online was like a scam. I never believed in like, um doing anything online. Doing anything online and also, doing all these Zoom calls and just typical stuff. But like the testimonials and social proof was like can't deny it. So
Were there specific ones that you saw that kind of resonated and you were like, that's a bit of me in that story?
well, you show me. So you show me specifically. I remember you showed me Sam Arch. So I know he's doing really, really well right now. He's
Yeah.
doing killing it. And I actually messaged him on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, dude, I saw your testimonial. Is this like a real course?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, it's a real course."
Ah, okay.
Um, but I remember watching his testimonial because he's from Australia, and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty like." He was like, "Yeah, it's legit." Um, so that was like, okay, yeah, I guess there's nothing really that I can say. That's like
Hmm.
it's a scam. If everything you've given testimonials, I've spoken as one of your previous guys, even though that's probably not the best.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, those were the kind of what tipped me over.
Sounds like you need to take Sam for a steak and me as well. You know, just to get in the steak and
Definitely.
kind of pay back. Do you think if he hadn't messaged him, do you think he would have done it?
If he would have,
If you hadn't messaged, or let's say you message him and he just completely
uh,
ignored you or anything, do you think he would have done it?
I think I would have done it anyway. Yeah, I remember when after that first night's call, like I couldn't sleep. Like it was bad. because there was so much going on in my head. Oh my God, it was crazy. I remember that day, like after our first call, before our second call, like I just went straight to bed and like I couldn't sleep for like the next couple of hours. It was so bad. So
Yeah.
my mind was like spinning and just like, yeah. But I would have done it regardless. I would have done it regardless, I think.
Hmm.
Because the social proof is just undeniable.
It's crazy how you think, man, how our futures is like it comes down to moments like that where you're just like you're standing on like a very thin strip and you can
Yes.
either way and like isn't that fun? You know, how, like things
Oh,
depend on
definitely.
like the tiniest beginnings, you know?
I agree. It is fun. Like when you look back now, it's pretty crazy. Like anything, it's like something, anything would have happened. I could have swung the other way, and I maybe would have never joined the program. Who knows? But I
Yeah.
was like very on the edge because it was a big investment at the time, even though it was pay by month. So I remember that. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought what I wanted to ask you on that front. Yes. In terms of yourself, man, you mentioned it was 2 months that you were doing it on your own. Some people wait for 4 months, for 6 months, for over a year sometimes before they get help. And it's especially impressive for you because you had a job, you were making decent money at the time as well. It wasn't like your life was hell. What was it for you that made you decide like 2 months was enough and you actually just wanted to get that actual help instead of going, let me see what I can do over a year and just like slowly kind of, well, failing on your own, I suppose.
Yeah. Looking back or looking at it now, I don't have time. Like no one has. You can figure it out. You can try and figure it out all yourself, but you can, you either pay with time, pay with money. That's kind of probably the best way to put it. You can either try and figure it out all yourself, or you can pay someone to kind of help you get there. And with that mindset, I've also been able to go ahead with a lot of big purchases now as well. And that's kind of what EasyGrow has been able to give me as well.
Mhm. Big purchases? Anything
Yeah.
really crazy?
No, no, nothing in particular, but like when you think of money in a more of like in an abundance, which I had previously I didn't have. I'm still trying to get over it. It's a lot easier, especially when you're paying for things like coaches and mentors and stuff like that. It's kind of a no-brainer, to be honest, when you spend a lot of money on like useless stuff, like
Mm.
materialistic things. So
Do you think it's fair to say, man, that that abundance mindset started when you bought a course, which isn't like a physical product? It's not something that like it's necessarily like yours to keep. Is that
mm,
what kind of triggered it? That you essentially paid for like thin air, you know, in a kind of way, if that makes sense. Do you think
mm.
like triggered it?
Yeah, purchasing once you purchase it and you go into like the modules, like it changes like the way you think and the way I mean, just tries doing you change your beliefs, change your actions, change your habits, change your whatever it was, but it has completely changed like the way you everything.
Hmm.
And I right now have a girlfriend and now she thinks also very similar to me as well. Previously, she was in the exact same position as me. Now she thinks completely different because of
Hmm.
the mindset shifts that I've had, which has kind of over time translated to her as well. So it's quite quite impactful. Like it's the value you get out of the course is like a no-brainer, I
So
think.
fucking, that's beautiful, man. It's literally just a stuff like you became that guy and then just started like rubbing off essentially like
Yeah,
osmosis, right?
yeah.
How do your parents look at the business now that you've kind of made it? You know, I'm sure you're not
Oh,
happy. I'm sure you're not completely fulfilled and you want so much more. But
yes.
what are their thoughts now, man? That you're a kind of
uh
online digital scammer.
my oh no no my no think that they trust me. They know I'll get there. Yeah, and I think that's the start. They were a bit skeptical, but now I just like tell them, yeah, I'm doing this. They trust me. Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm an adult.
Mm. Is that a kind of pivotal thing then? Going off in your path and like knowing that you actually made it happen?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now it's like I don't look back. Like rather die than go back to working corporate. Like this agency thing or this online thing is like it's a make or break. Like
mm.
is gonna work out.
Because I remember when I told my parents, man, like, because I was going down that path, right? University studying architecture. When I told them I wanted to be making 10K a month, you know, in my 20s and stuff, like, it's a miracle they didn't put me in like a insane asylum because like they I was crazy, like completely delusional, right? So that brought me a lot of satisfaction, not as a like, I told you so, but like, Me
Hmm.
telling myself like, oh, I told me so, like talking to myself almost.
Definitely. Exactly. Yeah.
There was
I
a
think,
little
yeah,
part of me that's
definitely.
like, am I nuts? Am I looking for something crazy right here? And it's a good bit of joy, man. What bits did you find the most valuable in the program? Let's say like for that kind of first month that you were in, and then kind of later as you went along.
Self-transcendence by far was like the most valuable thing. Would
Yeah,
have paid for just self-transcendence itself. But
really.
obviously, the program, yeah. I don't know. Actually, no, I do know why. But I'm thinking as well, like because you invest so much. For me, this is probably the most amount of money I spent on anything, to be
Mm,
completely honest. So when you invest this sum of money into like something like a program, you're gonna pay attention to it pretty closely. Whereas like you go to university for us, it's like you don't really pay for your degree. It's like there's a loan that kind of accumulates in the background. So it's not really like your money.
yeah.
Whereas this is like your savings, are going into like the program. It's like holy shit, like you've got to pay attention. And
Mm.
when you invest that sort of money, it's an emotional commitment because for me it was a lot of money. So I made sure know, when had free time, I didn't listen to music anymore. I started listening to like just the self-transcendence stuff over and over again.
I
And
did. I
then
did. To anyone watching this, that's not a requirement. Okay, you can listen to music and still be successful.
yeah, no, I was like, I've
To
got to
each
listen
their
to
own.
this.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
but
Fair enough.
yeah, so I was like, I need to get the most out of this. So
What was it
I
about
I
like self-transcendence that shifted you so much?
I think it's just how I think it's more so. I think it's probably one of the first two modules around like the meta beliefs and just believing like you can really just do anything that you really want. And it sounds like super like very like very motivational speaky. It sounds like very fairy dare. Sorry, airy fairy. But it is actually quite true. I used to think like all that motivational talk and like believe in you can achieve and all that stuff was like all BS. But once you go into the program, you're like everything is actually shaped by your paradigm,
Mhm.
your perspective, and that was crazy. I didn't. It's crazy 'cause I didn't even tell my girlfriend or tell my parents that I bought this program because I was like, I'll be like, what the fuck.
Mm.
But definitely like the self-transcendence itself.
That's a big thing, man. Because like I always kind of outsource responsibility to decisions. Like before I started working in sales, I talked to my parents, I talked to my friends, I talked to my extended family, and kind of getting all their opinion. Like, can be stuck for a pretty long time. So yeah, I can't imagine what would have happened then. But I'm sure you can understand that normally I don't talk about the mindset training in the program when I pitch people. Because if I talk about mindset, like barriers go up, right? Wishy-washy bullshit. Fake
Yeah.
stuff, not scientific, like naturally
Yeah, yeah.
these things. So like I just let people discover that for themselves. But then after self-transcendence, man, what were the kind of most valuable bits over the coming months that you
Hmm.
were with?
Cold calls, and the sales part. So sales, like line of questioning, I thought that was really, really valuable.
Hmm.
I'll be completely honest, I didn't really enforce like the one call close. I didn't have the confidence and conviction behind myself to push it that far.
Hmm.
But I think the sales tactics, I wasn't able to join a lot of the coaching calls, unfortunately, but I watched recordings, and thought that like like that type of sales when you're talking to another consumer, like another new human being, is quite different to like corporate sales. It's so different. Like
Mm.
it's crazy. And I think the techniques, the emotional behind it is it's quite tough, I would say, to learn. And it's quite a skill to learn, I think.
What?
Because yeah.
No, I'll ask you after we finish the recording, man. I'm curious to
Yeah.
understand the difference between the kind of corporate sales in this space because I love sales and I have no experience in corporate, but we'll leave that till after because people might know
Yeah.
too much about that. What would you have done differently if you could have gone through the program again, knowing what you know now?
Oh, what would I have done differently through the program?
No.
Hmm, probably I don't know. I put like if I would redo my last year, would have stuck to meta ads. That is what I would have done. And when Charlie says to not niche hop, don't niche hop, pick a good niche and stick to it, and don't change around. Otherwise, you're gonna reset your progress, like he says, which I did. Even though
How many
yeah,
times?
I wish I should have. So I did initially, I did meta ads. I did it for like my first client. My first client was like, was my first time doing it. So I like lost him in like 2 weeks. I was like, no, screw this. I'm doing meta ads. I'm going to do Google ads. And I did Google ads for a couple of months. But then I was doing Google ads for people who didn't have a lot of money. So there were your cleaners, your gutter cleaners, and people who weren't making a lot of money. Whereas, when you're doing renovators, these guys are doing like a couple of grand projects who can't afford your services.
Mhm.
So pivoting to that has been absolutely fantastic for me. So now I've been
Where was the
focusing kind of my,
first?
my niche.
Where was the first niche you started in
Facebook meta ads for for renovators.
for
So
renovators? And you think
yeah,
what if you had just stuck to that and saw it through, you would have
oh,
saved a couple of months, or what would have happened?
100%. 100% would have said 6 months, I would say. Definitely 6 months.
And
Yeah,
that was
if I just
just
stuck to
not
that niche.
listening to to the advice that
No,
Charlie had mentioned.
no, no, exactly. Yeah, I should have, but yeah, it's cost me a couple of months, but that's okay. I learned a lot. Yeah, learn a lot through Google Ads, landing pages and stuff, which you wouldn't learn normally in meta ads.
Mm,
So, but yeah, it was good.
okay. What would you say to the Aussies, man, that are like, coaching calls are a pretty shit time for me. Maybe I'm not going to join the program because of that. What would you say to that?
Uh,
Because that was Sam's experience as well, right? Where he just, he just did the program
oh,
pretty much.
if well, two things. Well, if you really wanted to join it, you can. You can join it in the middle of the morning. Like it's hard, but it'll be completely worth it, especially if your life depends on it. Second of all, is you don't need them to succeed. There are many successful Aussies who've gone through the program who couldn't attend the recordings and who just you just rewatch the recordings as well. So you don't need to attend the coaching calls, even though you can. It's a nice to have.
Hmm.
So definitely not necessary, but you can definitely join the program without it.
Hmm. Okay. Where do you want to go next, man? You're doing 15, 16K a month. What's the goal for like a year from now?
Oh, a month, a year. If I'm focusing on oh, well, I'm going to be focusing on this full time. I reckon 100K eventually is a goal. I mean, I've seen what people have been able to achieve in this space, and it's pretty crazy and pretty incredible. And they're young, they work hard, but I think if they're able to do it, I should be able to do it too. That's my perspective, and I think it's just a matter of learning and just growing, it's getting better.
Now that sound like a sales call, man, but what will hitting that do for you? Now that you've hit your first kind of goal and you've made it in a sense, like what does hitting the 100 do for you?
Sorry, how do
What does hitting 100K a month? Like what's the motivation for that? Well, I know you're going to be taking business class flights and you're not going to be taking economy like you mentioned before we get started.
Dude, the business class, man. I need to live in like I'm moving out at the end of the year, at the start of next year to a nicer place.
Okay.
I just need to earn a lot more money. If you're a dude, old school, you want to provide for your partner, you want to look after a family eventually, you got to be earning a lot more than what I'm currently earning.
Mm,
So that's kind of my motivation is that my income right now is nowhere near enough to support the life that I want to live. And to not live a life that I want to live, like sucks really, really bad. So
it's going to suck either way, right? It's going to be painful. Like if you do
yeah. Oh,
it,
exactly.
you might as well have something to show for it at the end, right?
100%, 100%. Just pick your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison at the end of the day. Well, man, I am not sound patronizing or anything, but I'm proud of you, man. You've done it. You've had loads of things against you, right? You use your time effectively. You fucking worked for a year and you didn't stop, right? You kept it going. Yeah, maybe you could have saved yourself 6 months if you actually just listened to Charlie and the boys. Maybe you could have
I
got
would have,
there
yeah.
quicker, but we're here now, and what's important is moving forwards. I trust that you're not going to be switching niche again or anything like that.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. No, definitely
Yeah.
missing this one. Yeah.
I don't know if you met Jaden, but he's probably one of our biggest clients to date. He's in the roofing niche, and he's doing hundreds of thousands a month, maybe even over 500K a month, man. And he's just stuck to it for 4 years, 3.5 years. It's one of our first clients, and like that's what
Really? Oh, wow.
yeah, 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 yeah. He's a cool guy as well. But you might have not met him, man, because he joined such a while back, and obviously in the
Mm,
program, there's only so long you need it for, right? We're here to make ourselves obsolete
yeah,
at the end of the day. I'll be seeing you at the mastermind in a couple months,
definitely.
couple years down the line, right?
Definitely. 100%. Like even filming this testimonial video, like I hope it goes up and maybe I can look back one day like, hey, I went through this program
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
Sam did. He's now
Yep.
Sam's not doing so well. I watch his YouTube videos. I'm like, holy shit, that's kind of what I want to do as
What's he
well.
up to, man? Because last time I heard from him, he was doing around 30K a month. That was
He's doing from what because I watch his YouTube videos. He's doing so well. He does like 100K months now, and he's supporting his girlfriend, flying business class.
yeah,
He's killing it. So I'm like, dude, I want to be like him.
yeah. Sam is cool, man. He has a way of because I had that interview with him that obviously I shared to you. He keeps everything very simple, you know? He keeps everything very simple in his mind, and I think that gives him a lot of room to just absolutely send it, you know? Like his decision behind joining the programs, like I can afford the first month of the payment plan. Business is shit and I don't want to continue running it. I'm terrified, but fuck it, let's just do it. Like very, very simple, you know how he keeps things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
good. Yeah,
and I
for
think
what made him so successful.
yeah, people typically over kind of complicate the process, but we'll wrap this up here. Man, it's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. And when you're doing 50K, we'll do another one.